Niranjan Pal, who was not only a scriptwriter but an early entrepreneur in films and was probably the earliest of Indian exports to Britain as a filmmaker. You know, it's quite extraordinary that something like this should actually happen. And how many people know that? Very few people, even in India, know about Niranjan Pal.
I was about 6 or 7 when he passed away. So I've got very, very vague, misty memories of him. Except one little bit is vivid, is I remember that all the kids in the colony would come over in the evening and my grandfather would storytell. And he had this amazing ability to give us a new story every evening. And he obviously would make those stories right straight then, out of nothing.
So to me, he was only my grandfather. He could be nothing beyond my grandfather, because that's how I knew him. That is because my family, that's my father, my grandmother, never really boasted about him. I also blame ourselves that maybe we didn't really push the thing, Sort of, I see when I look around the other film personalities come up, it's always the next generation, I think, who really pushes. And I suppose it was just disappointment that we did try. My father tried and things didn't work out and we gave up and we thought it was just a, lost battle.
Niranjan Pal was a very attractive person for me to study because I felt that he came to this country at a time that was very important in the history of the Indian national movement. And it was also a very significant period in the development of Indo-British relations in the UK.
Till he made Light of Asia, which was in 1925, I think his work before that, practically nobody in India knew.
For him, coming to this country was almost like a playground, which is the way I'd see it, for him to kind of start his own cultural revolution, I suppose. This was a country that didn't have that exposure properly in terms of film to Indian culture, and that's what he did. He brought along with him those stories.
Niranjan Pal's life is even more fascinating than any of the stories that he wrote for the theatre and cinema during his eventful career. Niranjan Pal was born in Calcutta on 17th of August 1889.
ভালোবাসি